Hi, this is Taylor Rorrer for NOS 130 at Rockingham Community College for the summer 2010 semester. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to create folders and move files and folders and copy and rename and delete folders and files all within the Windows Explorer. So I guess you could look at this as a Windows Explorer tutorial guide or whatever. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. If you're like me, you may already have your My Computer shortcut icon on your desktop, or if not, you may have to go under your Start menu. If you're using Windows 7, your My Computer is going to be right there on the right hand side of the menu that is displayed. So just go ahead and click that, or if you're like me, like I said earlier, you may already have it on your desktop, like I do. So there you go. Just go ahead and open up your My Computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my C directory here, and I'm going to just experiment here, and I'm going to create a folder to keep some things organized. I've got Joe Bob's going to use my computer, and Joe Bob wants to put his music on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder for Joe Bob, and I do that by right-clicking on my mouse, and I go up to New, and I go up to, and it's going to show me the folder icon, and then I'm just going to select that, and it brings me that blinking cursor icon there for the new folder, and I'm just going to call it Joe's Stuff. Joe may want music in there, he may want Word documents or spreadsheets or whatever. But so now we got to have some files put in Joe Bob's folder, and there are a couple of music files on here I think Joe Bob may want in his folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in Joe's Stuff, that folder that we just created, and I'm going to create another folder, and I'm going to go down to New and just scroll over and just go right to the top there where it says folder, and we'll call this one Joe's Music, and we'll go ahead, click on that, and as you can see there are no files that are displayed in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go under our music library, and we're going to go down to My Music, and I'm going to go get a file out of the sample. Tell you what, I'm going to take all three files out of the sample music folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move those files to where to the location that I just made for Joe Bob's stuff, and then I went in and made Joe's Music. So we're going to put these audio files in Joe's Music, and we're just going to move them there. So I've got all three of the files highlighted, and I did that by clicking on the first one, and then I held down my shift key and used my down arrow, and I'm going to right click on my mouse and I'm going to cut. And what that's going to do, that's going to put those audio files onto the cutting board or the clipboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to where we were, and here we are. We got Joe's Stuff, and we had Joe's Music. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go down to paste, or you can use the Control V as well, which will Velcro the items into the folder. And so now we've got separate folders for Joe's Stuff. We've got Joe's Stuff, then we've got Joe's Music, and let's say you might want to create one. Maybe Joe's going to do a lot of Word documents. Joe's Word docs or whatever. So Joe can save his Word documents to that folder there. Joe keep all of his stuff organized on maybe this might be his mother's computer or whoever. So now let's think maybe Joe's mother wants a copy of Joe's music for maybe she's got her own folder on here. So we'll just go ahead and we'll go ahead and create one for Joe's mom. We'll create a folder and call it Joe Mom. And we're going to go after we've got her folder created there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to highlight Joe's music folder. And what we're going to do, we're not going to move the folder. We're just going to copy it, and we're going to do that by right-clicking on the mouse, and we'll go down to Copy, and we'll go back to Joe Mom folder, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to either right-click and do Paste, or you can do Control V, and there it's got Joe's music folder there. And there you go. You've got a copy of the music from Joe's folder. So maybe you want to rename it instead of you don't want to call it Joe's music. Maybe you want to call it Joe Mom's music. And if you're going to call it Joe Mom's music, you're going to have to rename the folder, which is a simple thing to do. Only thing you got to do is you can right-click on the folder there, bring up the little menu of options here, and then you can just go right down here to rename, and just click on that, and maybe you just want to call it Hello World. Maybe call it the Hello World folder, or Joe Mom music or something. And you rename the folder, but the files are still intact within the folder. So maybe you found out that one of the song titles is wrong, and you want to rename that. So it's formed the same way as you would rename the folder. You just highlight the file, and you right-click on the mouse, and then you go down to rename, and maybe the name of that song instead of Sleep Away is Away Sleep or something. And then of course it's going to put it at the top there. So and once again, just to show you that one, renaming again, we'll change it back to Sleep Away. So far in this tutorial video, we've covered, we've created some folders, and we'll go back and we'll show you the folders that we created. We created one called Joe's Stuff. And then inside of that one, we created two more folders, one for Joe's music, and we put a couple of audio files in there. And then we created one for Joe's Word documents, if Joe ever decides to do any Word documents. And then we came and thought, well, maybe Joe's mom wanted a copy of Joe's music. So we created a folder for Joe Mom, and inside that we created another folder for Joe Mom music. And what she did, and she wanted a copy of those, so we copied the audio files, or we copied Joe's music folder, and just copied that and pasted it within Joe Mom folder. And then we went in and we renamed the files, and we also renamed the folder before. And first we had Joe's music, and now we've got Joe Mom music. Go back, and like we said, we renamed the file, but then we renamed it again. So what we'll do is rename it back to Away Sleep. That way you get a better idea of that. And now we want to delete the files and the folders for Joe Mom. And what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight the entire folder of Joe Mom, and we're just going to hit the delete button on the keyboard. And it comes up, make sure you want to do that, and hit yes. So pretty simple, straightforward. I hope you've maybe picked up a few things, or maybe got a better understanding of the Windows Explorer. Thanks.